Hi folks, in today's video I'm going to share some of our favourite projects from the last 12 months. There's a whole variety of stuff. As always, it was busy here. So stick around and I'll give you a bit of a countdown. Make sure you stick around to the end and I'll reveal my favourite project of the year. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, you do so now. Click the bell symbol and then you will never miss a video. But thanks for watching and enjoy our top 10. The first big project of the year was to raise the green oak frame that I built for Mum and Dad's house. Now this was something that started a little while before that, but it was time that I finally got to get it up, get it in place. And while this was the first of the oak projects, it certainly wasn't the last, and I've got plenty more planned for this year. It was more of a training ground, this one, and a good way of learning some skills and getting ready for future projects. Another project earlier in the year was the bespoke unit for our coffee machine. This was using up some unused space in the kitchen, and it was a bit of a design as you go type build, but they're always the fun ones, and it gave us a much needed space for some much needed coffee. The next project took place at a friend's house. It was the green oak kitchen garden build, and this for me was a bit of an achievement in that I was able to estimate how long it would take, how much it would cost, and managed to bring those things in on target. It was a 2.5 day build. It was an awful lot of work, an awful lot of heavy lifting, but the result was great, as were the veggies that were produced from it all summer long. As you may have been able to tell, Jo spent most of the first half of the year heavily pregnant, so much of the outdoor work I had to go solo. But for this particular project, we gifted each other a living Willow tunnel kit for our anniversary, and it was a nice little project we could do together, and it's made a really fun feature of that part of the garden. The trampoline project didn't start in 2019, but it did finally finish. I wouldn't do another one of these again unless I was paid a lot of money or had a mini digger on site, but it's a fun way of housing a trampoline that's down at ground level, no need for one of those big ugly nets, and I finally finished off all the fencing, the play area, and just created a nice safe space for the kids to play. The summer saw the big project, which was the groundworks and the concrete slab which will house the workshop build, which will happen this year. I'm guaranteeing it. This was our first venture into bigger works like this, and pleased to say it all went to plan, and we ended up with a really flat, smooth slab, and I just can't wait to start throwing some big timber beams on there and get building again. This next project was one of those projects that it didn't cost a lot of money, didn't take much skill, nor did it take too long, but it really made a big impact on the garden. These old block walls were once covered with ivy and old hedges, and when we tidied up that part of the garden, we had to do something about it, and cladding the walls like this just really transformed things in a big way. It was a fun project to do, and it was one of our more popular videos this year. Next up, it was the girls' turn, and this was their little mud kitchen build. Now these videos are never the most viewed ones, but they're certainly some of the most treasured ones for us. We love looking back on these old videos a year or two later and see what we were getting up to. Plus it's a great chance to get the girls on the tools and learning new skills. This was all made from recycled wood out of the scrap pile, and a fun way of just keeping all of that mess in one space. Now, before we move on to my favourite project of the year, it would be wrong of me to miss out our biggest DIY success of the year, which was in fact to deliver, not intentionally, but to deliver our baby girl ourselves at home in May in a bit of a surprise one morning, and it was definitely a big accomplishment, but not one I'm looking to repeat anytime soon. But delivering your own baby is definitely one to tick off the list. And finally, my favourite project of the year, and probably the biggest outdoor project we did, which is a bit of a vegetable garden makeover. This is the area we call our garden farm, where we keep our poultry and grow our veg. And this is an idea I've had for a while, which is to make a geometric shaped raised bed garden inspired by our love of pizza, and tie it in with the pizza oven that we've built in the garden as well. It was just a fun one to do, and a nice way of making something a little bit different out of something that could be quite ordinary. And there we go, that is my favourite project of the year. Bizarrely, one of the least watched videos of the year, but if you haven't seen it already, I'll stick it in the card up in the top corner and also down in the description. Now, there were endless projects to pick from, but I tried to only pick projects that actually finished last year rather than ones we've started and are dragging on a bit like most of them. We also share some of our previous projects as short, slimmed down videos on Instagram, so you can head over and follow us there too.
Give me a thumbs up if you like the build. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time. Bye!